Harsh conditions call for unique solutions, and this is also the case with buses. While the Soviet Union had the Aerosled, a Canadian inventor whose name will always be synonymous with transportation, created a vehicle to deliver passengers and goods where roads simply did not or could not exist. This is the story of the Bombardier B-12 and its variants, the incredible Canadian Snowbus. Hi, this is Jeffrey. Now, a while back I did a video on the Soviet Aerosled, or what I like to call the Aerobus. Basically, it's a bus-like vehicle that ran on sleds with an airplane engine and a propeller. Built for the most harsh conditions, it operated where roads simply did not exist. However, the Soviet Union or Russia was not the only place where such a vehicle was needed. In Canada, an inventor whose name became synonymous with transportation all over the world developed a similar vehicle even earlier than the Aerosled. It's a really fascinating story, so let's get started in learning about the Bombardier B-12 Snowbus. Buses and bus-like vehicles operating in the snow and similar extreme conditions have been around for as long as buses have existed, and the former Soviet Union has had some intriguing examples of passenger vehicles built specifically for this kind of purpose, such as the Aerosled. But there are other places on Earth with similar harsh conditions that developed some interesting bus-like vehicles that were truly one of a kind. Take Canada, for example. Joseph Armand Bombardier, the creator of the Snowmobile and founder of the company that bears his name, was fascinated from his youth with the idea of creating a machine that could float on snow. His own search for a vehicle that would enable mechanized transport in the snow was pushed into urgency after the loss of his 2-year-old child in 1934, for whom medical help could not be obtained in time. So it was that the classic Bombardier snowmobiles were created. Bombardier patented a new sprocket wheel and track design in 1935. He began manufacturing snowmobiles in 1937, beginning with a model dubbed the B7, the B being for Bombardier and the number 7 being the number of people the snowmobile could seat. These vehicles were equipped with interchangeable front skis and front wheels so the snowmobile could be used in non-snow conditions as an all-road or off-road vehicle. The vehicles were a great success and led to Bombardier creating his company called L'Autoneige Bombardier Limité in 1942, which translated to English is Bombardier Snowmobile Limited. And along with his new company, a new vehicle was created for even greater versatility. And what would this new machine be? It was the B-12! This was a snowbus that was bigger, more powerful, and able to carry 12 passengers in the most inhospitable conditions. The original bodywork of the Bombardier B and the slightly wider C series was built of wood, and the windows in the passenger compartment were porthole-shaped for strength in the expected blizzard conditions in which these machines were expected to be able to reliably operate in. In 1951, Bombardier began making the snowmobile bodies of steel, and later in about 1969 provided new, larger rectangular windows to make the passenger compartment more light and pleasant to ride in. There were two basic models, the B-12 and the larger C-18, which was created by special request for entities needing greater capacity and would seat up to 18 passengers. And during World War II, there was a military variant which was called the B-1. Now, Let's take a look at some of the basic specifications of the standard Bombardier B12. Number 1, length is 18 feet. Number 2, width is 5 feet. Number 3, height is 6 feet 6 inches. Number 4, weight is 3,400 pounds. Number 5, overall length of tracks is 22.5 feet and width of tracks is 17.5 inches. Number 6, passenger capacity is 12 seated or can carry up to 2,000 pounds of cargo. Number 7, engine is the Chrysler Industrial 251 of 115 horsepower. And finally, number 8, top speed is 45 miles per hour. The B12 was put to use in a large variety of services, such as winter buses and school buses, ambulances, rescuing, mail delivery, public utilities, and fisheries. Engines for the Bombardier B12 changed over the years. According to Jean-Louis Tremblay, a mechanical engineer with Bombardier, on the engines used in the B12 and C18.
In the 1950s, the common engine was the 6-cylinder Chrysler Flathead, mated to a 3-speed transmission. During the 60s, Bombardier began to use V8 engines, and then moving into the 70s, Bombardier adopted the industrial Chrysler 318 engine, mated to an automatic load-flight transmission, which was very common in Dodge trucks and vans.
Production of these snowmobiles continued into the mid to late 1970s, and more than 3,000 were built. The R12 and the wider R18, another set of variants, was a specific configuration of the B12 C18 series, with the R indicating that the vehicle can be fitted with either skis or wheels for steering. Bombardier, the company, moved on from the B7 and B12 snowmobiles to become an entity more well known for producing aircraft and trains, and its rail transportation division was acquired by Alstom in early 2021. In addition to all sorts of interesting vehicles, including the Skidoo, Bombardier also produced the Volkswagen Iltis 4-wheel drive for the Canadian military. But the B7 and the B12 are the bread and butter machines that allowed Joseph Armand Bombardier to establish his company and to become a household name in Canada and indeed throughout the world. And so there it is, the story of the Bombardier B12 and its variants. Now, while the B12 was not the only snow-tracked vehicle of its type that was used for passenger, cargo, and military applications, it probably is the best known of its type, and still many examples of it exist today. So, anyway, I hope you enjoyed this look at the Bombardier B12 Snowbus. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and have a great day. Bye.